You're listening to the Okanagan Reader, where we present readings of short stories and other works that have been released under a Creative Commons license by their creators. In keeping with the license, these recordings are released under a matching license. You are free to listen to and share these readings as set out in their version of the Creative Commons license. This reading is Travels with the Snow Queen, Part 2. A short story in the collection Stranger Things Happen by Kelly Link. You leave the city and walk all day beside a stream that is as soft and silky as blue fur. You wish that your map was water and not broken glass. At midday, you stop and bathe your feet in a shallow place, and the ribbons of red blood curl into the blue water. Eventually, you come to a wall of briars, so wide and high that you can't see any way around it. You reach out to touch a rose and prick your finger. You suppose that you could walk around, but your feet tell you that the map leads directly through the briar wall, and you can't stray from the path that has been laid out for you. Remember what happened to the little girl, your great-grandmother, in her red woolen cape. Maps protect their travelers, but only if the travelers obey the dictates of their maps. This is what you have been told. Perched in the briars above your head is a raven, black and sleek as the curly-cued mustache of the guardsman. The raven looks at you, and you look back at it. "I'm looking for someone," you say, "a boy named Kay." The raven opens its big beak and says, "He doesn't love you, you know." You shrug. You've never liked talking animals. Once your lover gave you a talking cat, but it ran away and secretly you were glad. "I have a few things I want to say to him, that's all." You have, in fact, been keeping a list of all the things you are going to say to him. "Besides, I wanted to see the world. Be a tourist for a while." "That's fine for some," the raven says. Then he relents. "If you'd like to come in, then come in. The princess just married the boy with the boots that squeaked on the marble floor." "That's fine for some," you say. Kay's boots squeak. You wonder how he met the princess. If he is the one that she just married, how the raven knows that he doesn't love you, what this princess has that you don't have, besides a white sleigh pulled by 30 geese, an impenetrable wall of briars, and maybe a castle. She's probably just some bimbo. "The Princess Briar Rose is a very wise princess," the raven says, "but she's the laziest girl in the world. Once she went to sleep for 100 days, and no one could wake her up, although they put 100 peas under her mattress, one each morning. This, of course, is the proper and respectful way of waking up princesses. Sometimes Kay used to wake you up by dribbling cold water on your feet. Sometimes he woke you up by whistling. On the 100th day, the raven says, she woke up all by herself and told her council of 12 fairy godmothers that she supposed it was time she got married. So they stuck up posters, and princes and youngest sons came from all over the kingdom. When the cat ran away, Kay put up flyers around the neighborhood. You wonder if you should have put up flyers for Kay. Briar Rose wanted a clever husband, but it tired her dreadfully to sit and listen to the young men give speeches and talk about how rich and sexy and smart they were. She fell asleep, and stayed asleep, until the young man with the squeaky boots came in. It was his boots that woke her up. It was love at first sight. Instead of trying to impress her with everything he knew and everything he had seen, he declared that he had come all this way to hear Briar Rose talk about her dreams. He'd been studying in Vienna with a famous doctor and was deeply interested in dreams. Kay used to tell you his dreams every morning. They were long and complicated, and if he thought you weren't listening to him, he'd sulk. You never remember your dreams. Other people's dreams are never very interesting, you tell the raven. The raven cocks its head. It flies down and lands on the grass at your feet. "Want to bet?" it says. Behind the raven, you notice a little green door recessed in the briar wall. You could have sworn that it wasn't there a minute ago. The raven leads you through the green door and across a long green lawn towards a 2-story castle that is the same pink as the briar roses. You think this is kind of tacky, but exactly what would you expect from someone named after a flower? "I had this dream once," the raven says, "that my teeth were falling out. They just crumbled into pieces in my mouth. And then I woke up and realized that ravens don't have teeth." You follow the raven inside the palace and up a long twisty staircase. The stairs are stone, worn and smoothed away, like old thick silk. Slivers of glass glister on the pink stone, catching the light of the candles on the wall. As you go up, you see that you are part of a great gray rushing crowd. Fantastic creatures, flat and thin as smoke, race up the stairs. Men and women and snaky things with bright eyes. They nod to you as they slip past. "Who are they?" you ask the raven. "Dreams," the raven says, hopping awkwardly from step to step. "The princess's dreams, come to pay respects to her new husband. Of course they're too fine to speak to the likes of us." But you think that some of them look familiar. They have a familiar smell, like a pillow that your lover's head has rested upon. At the top of the staircase is a wooden door with a silver keyhole. The dreams pour steadily through the keyhole and under the bottom of the door, and when you open it, the sweet stink and cloud of dreams are so thick in the princess's bedroom that you can barely breathe. Some people might mistake the scent of all the princess's dreams for the scent of sex. Then again, some people mistake sex for love. You see a bed big enough for a giant, with 4 tall oak trees for bedposts. You climb up the ladder that rests against the side of the bed to see the princess's sleeping husband. As you lean over, a goose feather flies up and tickles your nose. You brush it away and dislodge several seedy-looking dreams. Briar Rose rolls over and laughs in her sleep, but the man beside her wakes up. "Who is it?" he says. "What do you want?" He isn't Kay. He doesn't look a thing like Kay. "You're not Kay," you tell the man in the princess's bed. "Who the fuck is Kay?" he says. So you explain it all to him, feeling horribly embarrassed. The raven is looking pleased with itself, the way your talking cat used to look before it ran away. You glare at the raven. You glare at the man who is not Kay. After you've finished, you say that something is wrong, because your map clearly indicates that Kay has been here in this bed. Your feet are leaving bloody marks on the sheets, and you pick a sliver of glass off the foot of the bed so everyone can see that you're not lying. Princess Briar Rose sits up in bed. Her long pinkish-brown hair tumbled down over her shoulders. "He's not in love with you, you know," she says, yawning. "So he was here, in this bed. You're the icy slut in the sleigh at the corner store. You're not even bothering to deny it," you say. She shrugs her pink-white shoulders. 5 months ago he came through. I woke up," she says. "He was a nice guy, okay in bed. She was a real bitch, though." "Who was?" you ask. Briar Rose finally notices that her new husband is glaring at her. "What can I say?" she says, and shrugs. "I have a thing for guys in squeaky boots." "Who was a bitch?" you ask again. The Snow Queen, she says. The slut in the sleigh. This is the list you carry in your pocket of the things you plan to say to Kay when you find him, if you find him. 1. I'm sorry that I forgot to water your ferns while you were away that time. 2. When you said that I reminded you of your mother, was that a good thing? 3. I never really liked your friends all that much. 4. None of my friends ever really liked you. 5. Do you remember when the cat ran away, and I cried and made you put up posters, and she never came back? I wasn't crying because she didn't come back. I was crying because I'd taken her to the woods, and I was scared she'd come back and tell you what I'd done, but I guess a wolf got her, or something. She never liked me anyway. 6. I never liked your mother. 7. After you left, I didn't water your plants on purpose. They're all dead. 8. Goodbye. 9. Were you ever really in love with me? 10. Was I good in bed or just average? 11. What exactly did you mean when you said that it was fine that I had put on a little weight, that you thought I was even more beautiful, that I should go ahead and eat as much as I wanted, but when I weighed myself on the bathroom scale I was exactly the same weight as before, I hadn't gained a single pound? 12. So all those times, I'm being honest here, every single time, and anyway I don't care if you don't believe me, I faked every orgasm you ever thought I had. Women can do that, you know. You never made me come, not even once. 13. So maybe I'm an idiot, but I used to be in love with you. 14. I slept with some guy. I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened. Is that how it was with you? Not that I'm making any apologies or that I'd accept yours, I just want to know. 15. My feet hurt, and it's all your fault. 16. I mean it this time. Goodbye.